In a world that never stops talking, people are constantly shouting their opinions, boasting about achievements, seeking validation, and sharing every detail of their lives. Yet, the most successful people rarely speak more than necessary. They understand profound truth. Silence is power, and when used wisely, it becomes the ultimate tool to achieve goals and maintain control over your life. Winners know that words are cheap and talk is effortless. Anyone can speak, but very few can deliver action and results. When you constantly speak about your plans, your intentions, your ambitions, you're giving away energy you could have used to build your dreams, energy you could have used to learn, grow, and dominate your craft. The loudest voices in the room are often the weakest players. They talk to impress, to prove they exist, to fill space. But winners understand that real strength comes from internal focus, from calm, deliberate thought, and from letting results speak for themselves. Imagine a young man constantly telling everyone about how he will start a business, how he will become rich, how he will change the world. He talks day and night, yet he has nothing to show for it, because all his energy goes into words, not action. Now imagine another man who silently works every morning and night. He learns, he practices, he builds, he fails, he learns again, he adapts, and eventually, when the time is right, the results speak and the world takes notice. He never had to explain, he never had to boast, he never had to argue. His success became inevitable because he understood the power of silence. Winners stay silent because they understand that attention is a currency, and talking too much spends it recklessly. Every word that leaves your mouth is a choice, and when you choose to speak without strategy, you dilute your influence. The wise man speaks only when necessary, when his words create value, when they shape perception, when they guide action, when they inspire, and when they protect his energy and his vision. The first principle of staying silent is discipline. The mind of a winner is trained to resist the urge to react to every insult, every criticism, every gossip, every trivial distraction. They observe, they analyze, and they act in silence. This is what separates them from the crowd. The crowd reacts instantly. They comment, they argue, they get drawn into meaningless debates. Winners stay above because they understand their energy is too valuable to waste on small battles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Control your mind or it will control you." The first step to silence is to control the mind before controlling speech, before controlling action. Observe your impulses before speaking. Let your thoughts settle before responding. Let your words align with your purpose. The second principle is power preservation. Every conversation consumes energy. Every argument drains focus. Every unnecessary explanation disperses influence. The less you talk, the more concentrated your energy becomes. The more you can invest in your craft, your health, your knowledge, and your strategy. The more silent you stay, the more people begin to underestimate you. And when people underestimate you, they give you space to move, space to plan, space to dominate. Winners move in silence, like a hunter stalking prey. They never announce their next move. They wait for the perfect moment. They strike with precision, and the impact is amplified because no one saw it coming. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates respect, fear, and attention from the right people. Imagine a chess player revealing his plan before he moves. The opponent sees it and can prepare the counter. Yet, if he conceals his intentions, silently calculating, silently moving, silently winning, the opponent is powerless. When the move finally happens, it is decisive, it is final, and it changes the game forever. The third principle is self-mastery. Winners know that constant talking is a symptom of insecurity and lack of self-control. When you must constantly justify your choices, when you must constantly explain your actions, you reveal weakness. When you remain silent, you display confidence. When you trust yourself, when you trust your abilities, when you trust the work you have put in, silence becomes a shield because it protects your confidence and prevents others from seeing cracks in your armor. The world cannot manipulate you when your mind and mouth are under control. The fourth principle is strategic influence. Silence increases your value. When you speak rarely, you are listened to carefully. When you speak often, you become background noise. The more you restrain your speech, the more it carries weight, the more it commands attention. Winners use words sparingly. They use words to educate, to inspire, to negotiate, to lead. They use words to create impact, and when they do speak, it carries the power of their reputation, their results, their discipline, and their calm authority. Imagine a room where everyone is arguing, fighting to be heard, and one person speaks softly yet decisively. Suddenly, everyone stops because of words of substance, because the silence before them built expectation, because the audience knows this is not empty noise. This is purpose. This is mastery. Winners stay silent because they understand timing. Word without preparation is noise. Word with strategy is power. Timing is critical. The fifth principle is emotional control. When you stay silent, you prevent the world from triggering your emotions. When someone insults you, criticizes you, mocks you, or challenges you, the impulse to react is natural. But winners learn to observe without attachment. They let words pass like water over stone. They respond only when it is necessary and when it will create value. The power of reacting to nothing builds patience. Patience builds clarity. Clarity builds strategy. Strategy builds unstoppable momentum. The sixth principle is focus. When you talk too much, you divide your attention. You lose focus on learning, improving, building, and executing. Winners stay silent because their minds are focused on what really matters. Their energy is invested in results, not noise. Every minute spent justifying yourself, defending opinions, or arguing trivial points is a minute stolen from progress, from mastery, from growth. Winners invest in themselves, not in empty battles. The seventh principle is humility. Silence breeds humility. When you stop boasting about what you know, when you stop showing off your achievements, when you stop seeking validation from others, you begin to grow genuinely, quietly, and consistently. Winners stay silent not to hide, but to grow. They understand that every word carries energy, and wasted words are wasted power. Silence allows them to listen, to analyze, to learn faster than those who speak endlessly. They observe weaknesses in others, opportunities in situations, and patterns in life that the loud never notice. The quiet mind sees clearly. The loud mind reacts blindly. Winners also understand that silence builds respect. People notice restraint. When someone who rarely speaks finally shares a thought, it carries weight, influence, and authority. This is why leaders, innovators, and masters across history often spoke sparingly. Their words had impact. They also know silence is a shield against manipulation. When you talk less, others cannot control your narrative. They cannot provoke you because you do not give them the fuel to do so. Emotional control is maintained. Focus is preserved. Energy is concentrated on action, not reaction. Every action of the silent winner is deliberate, precise, and strategic. While the world debates, judges, and reacts, they build, they execute, they master themselves. Silence in their world is a weapon, a tool, a form of power that speaks louder than arguments, boasts, or empty promises. The more silent you are, the more attention your actions command. The more control you have over yourself, the more unstoppable you become. Every time you resist the urge to respond in anger, frustration, or fear, you strengthen your character and increase your influence. Every time you choose observation over commentary, calculation over reaction, patience over impulsiveness, you move closer to mastery. Winners know that life is a game of long-term strategy, not instant gratification, and talking endlessly is the fastest way to lose the game. They move quietly, unseen, unheard, until results emerge like a force of nature, undeniable and impressive. Remember, silence is not apathy. Silence is focus. Silence is self-control. Silence is strategic. Silence allows ideas to grow, plans to mature, and action to become unstoppable. Those who understand this principle will achieve what talkers can only dream of. In conclusion, if you want to become unstoppable, if you want to gain respect, influence, and power, learn to stay silent. Speak only when necessary. Act decisively, and let results speak louder than words. Protect your energy, protect your focus, and let the world underestimate you while you prepare. The quieter you become, the more your presence commands respect. The more your actions speak, the less you need to justify yourself. Learn the art of silence. Observe, reflect, and act strategically. Master your mind, master your speech, master your life. And always remember, the loudest in the room are often the weakest, while the quietest, the disciplined, and strategic are the ones who win. So today, choose silence over talk, action over argument, mastery over distraction. Let your results do the talking. Become a silent force of excellence. Become the person who achieves, inspires, and commands respect without ever needing to shout. And that, my friend, is the ultimate secret of winners. They stay silent while the world talks, and through that silence, they conquer everything.